Hello. This is John Morrison from Life Academy. It is my pleasure to present this material to you. I have been working on this course for many years. In the beginning, it was my intent to produce a book with the purpose of teaching people how to get the most of their reading and study time. Now, I am able to use YouTube as a way to reach a greater audience and to use speech technology to make the presentation sound more professional. So this voice is not mine, but the words and spirit of the course are. Please study each chapter, take good notes, review and prepare for the next course. When you study and prepare yourself in the right way, you will see a vast difference in yourself, and you will greatly improve. So let's get on with the show. Welcome to How to Remember What You Read. In this course you will explore the world of reading, education, and memorization. This course is made for those who want to learn how to get the most out of their reading. Whether you are a student, working, or just someone who wants to get more from what you read, this course is for you. The purpose of this course is to make it easier to understand how your mind works and to get the most from your reading experience. You may feel that you are not able to learn as you read. You may feel that people who can read and understand are few and far between. But that is far from the truth. As a matter of fact, you have the ability to do more than you could ever imagine. Let me introduce myself. My name is John. I am a man who lives to explore, learn, and challenge what is considered to be normal. Starting from a young age, I was able to learn how to use my brain in ways that fascinated and thrilled those who knew me. And because of my ability to learn, I was able to do a multitude of fascinating activities. For example, I can speak several languages. I can do mental math, and am able to remember the pages of an entire magazine. I can see calendars in my head and can divine any date on a calendar within seconds. There are many that would consider me a genius, but that is not the case. I simply learned to use my brain in ways that most people disregard. That is why I am working to make the most of my experience by passing my knowledge on to you. A word of caution, this is not an easy fix. The science of learning to use your brain takes time and hard work. Make no mistake about it, you must work hard and practice in order to achieve your desired end. The phrase no pain no gain is the order of the day. Because you have to put in the proper amount of work in order to get the results you desire. But I can promise you it will be worth your time and effort. You will come out of this experience having one of the greatest skills ever imagined. After you have finished this study, you will have a powerful skill for your life. There are many people who wish they could have the skills presented here, the ability to learn and retain information with a greater sense of ease. But having a desire is not a guarantee of making it so. As with any skill, there will be those who will try, those who will do, and many who will fail. This course is for those who want to succeed. Think back to the days of high school. You remember how hard it was to focus on your studies. There were so many distractions going on all around you. The teacher was talking. The other students were talking. You had to control all the noises in your head. Contrast that to the days of preschool and the 1st through 5th grade. During these times learning was fun, and every day was an adventure. Think of how powerful and smart you felt as you learned to count to 10. Do you remember how good you felt when you were able to recite the entire alphabet? This is the experience I want you to have again as you learn here. This is a study on the many ways in which you can read materials and retain the portions that are vital to learning and understanding. The first thing you have to do before you can master the art of reading for memorization is to learn to look at reading in a different way. Most people think reading is simply the act of making sense of words on the page. The secret of words is not only in the reading, but also in knowing which ones not to read. We read all the time. Because of this we have to make sure we are not wasting time. As you read and study books, texts, papers and magazines, you will learn that it is not always necessary to read the entire document word for word. This may have you asking the question, what exactly do I read? And how much of the information can I expect to retain? These questions will be answered throughout this book. Reading is one of the most important things you will do in your normal day-to-day existence. But the sad fact is, most people will read but not be able to use the information to the full extent. They do not know how to put information into their brain in such a way as to use it at a later date. What a waste! Hopefully after you begin practicing the method presented here, you will find yourself able to retain more and read a lot less in the process. This might sound counterintuitive, but that is exactly what will happen when you master the art of reading and learning for retention. You will endeavor to become a student of scanning and skimming through the pages of books. This type of reading may at first come as a challenge. You will have to first unlearn some habits from your past. We have been conditioned by our teachers back in grammar school to read word for word. In later years this way of reading became something we were unable to give up. Reading slowly is something you were taught to do. But reading quickly is not that much better. Follow along with me, for it's easy to understand this example. For many years the idea of speed reading had taken the world by storm. It is the fantasy of every student to be able to read and comprehend an entire chapter or book by simply turning the pages with quickness and ease. I am sure you have seen people in classrooms and in libraries reading with their finger on the page. It is amazing to see the pages turning at lightning speed. The first thought that comes to mind is this person must be a super genius. Look at the rate of speed demonstrated. It is impossible to even imagine that this person who is doing this great feat is not really reading at all. That person was me. I fell into the hype of speed reading, and was proven to be a fake. This is not to say that speed readers don't exist, I'm just saying that I was not one of them. This is the point, you don't have to read quickly in order to have a greater understanding. If you are someone who is considered a slow reader, you can be assured that you too can learn to read for understanding and memorization. You will learn that reading is a matter of choice. When you choose to read, you are telling yourself you are choosing to learn. It is a matter of connecting to what you're reading. After learning the proper way to read and understand, I can now read through several books in a matter of hours. I sometimes read up to 5 books per day. Imagine going to the bookstore, and finding a stack of books, and being able to read through them all without having to make a purchase. How to prepare your mind for reading. The most important part of reading is the preparation. You have to approach the reading experience with a purpose that is greater than just to read from start to finish. It is important to have a purpose and a set of assumptions before you start the actual reading process. When you read, you will not simply read and try to regurgitate everything back on your notes. That is not the reason you are reading and studying in the first place. If the goal was to recite the text verbatim or just copy everything down word for word, the person with a copy machine or tape recorder would be considered the smartest person in the room. That is not the case. Learning verbatim is not necessary. You should not fall into the trap of thinking that it is. Learn instead to use assumptions and guesses to learn and read more effectively. To illustrate the point, I will use the example of meeting a person. Imagine yourself walking into a room. You see a person whom you find to be interesting. You decide that you would like to make an introduction. Attraction is good for learning and even better for remembering. You should feel good about what you are going to be reading as you would about a person you wish to meet. It is often said that you cannot judge a book by its cover. But you are not just looking at the outside appearance, you are exploring. You want to make sure it is worthy of your time before you proceed. This is the question you must ask yourself: why would I want to spend time reading this book if it is not interesting? I will give you a technique that is good for meeting a person and remembering their name. In the same way as you prepare a book for study, you will learn to prepare your mind to meet another person. The way a person looks may give you bits of information about their personality. The way in which they dress might suggest that they are perhaps fun and outgoing. Or it could show that they are dry and boring. What type of job or career do they have? Take the smallest hints and go with it. Make as many guesses or assumptions as you wish. The more you assume, the closer you will be to learning the truth. This is a list of things you will assume about a person. Name. Job/career. Health. Pastime. Fun factor. Romance factor. Intelligence. Marital status. Family. Race. Religion. Age. Political association. Sexual orientation. This is just a sample of the type of things you can think about a person that will lead you to the truth about them. You see the person from across the room. This person is a tall, dark-skinned woman. She is dressed in a black pantsuit with gold trim. She is wearing stiletto heels shoes. Her shoulder-length hair and makeup suit her pretty face. She smiles with a sense of ease and grace as she talks with several others in the room. She takes a sip of her drink and eats from the cheese and veggie tray. You note that she has an iPhone, but is not overly involved with its use. Let's make the following assumption. 1. Her name is Lisa. Why? Because she reminds you of someone you know named Lisa. 2. She's 32 years old. She appears to be young, but also has the air of sophistication and maturity. 3. She is a teacher or business consultant. She appears to have a lot of class and social skills. 4. She is a middle child. She has one older sister and one younger brother. 5. She is spiritual but not overly religious. Her fashion sense would convey this. 6. She is athletic. She has good posture and controls herself as she eats. 7. She did not drive herself to the party. She is consuming alcohol as if she is not intent on driving. Review your list of assumptions, but do not for a second assume that you are totally correct on any level. You should not attach emotion to your assumptions. This is all in your mind, you don't have to share your assumptions with anyone. After you are done, you will start to test your assumptions. Your assumptions are in fact the list of questions that you want answered. If you find you have more questions, that will be a bonus. But you should stick to the specific questions you have listed. As you begin to speak with this person, you will discover the answers to your questions. For every correct answer you will make a mental note. For every incorrect assumption you will make a mental correction. It is best to be thorough as you ask questions. For that is the best way to memorize the answers. When you ask for her name, make sure to repeat the name several times. Ask about the spelling, ask if they prefer a nickname. For example, if she says my name is Pamela, you can say, do you prefer Pamela or do you like Pam as well? The more questions you ask, the more you will learn. You can also give multiple choices when asking questions, such as are you a teacher or a consultant? This will make you seem more interesting, especially if they are one of the two you have chosen. You now have a list that represents the facts about this person. Her name is Pamela. She is 31 years of age. She has a 5-year-old son. She has 2 older sisters. She does P90X daily to stay in shape. Her religion is Baptist. She did not drive herself to the party. She needs a ride home. I would suggest that you do this exercise on a daily basis. It will help you to get a fix on your environment and use your powers of observation to learn more about deductive reasoning and general curiosity. This is the end of this chapter. Make sure to review your notes and continue on tomorrow.